never afraid to champion the First Amendment. These characters will do whatever it takes to get their story.
To one of the greatest sunken treasures in all history.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movie print journalists.
You want a staff job and you want a staff job. Anybody care about what I want?
I do.
Shut up. Get out.
For this list, we're taking a look at the most complex and dedicated movie reporters who are published in newspapers and magazines.
They were due to go off 10 at a time, every 2 minutes.
We've thus excluded anchormen like Edward R. Murrow in Good Night and Good Luck, and Mike Pomeroy in Morning Glory, because that's a list for another day.
Good night and good luck.
Number 10, William Miller, Almost Famous.
Hi, I'm William Miller.
Inspired by writer-director Cameron Crowe's own experiences writing for Rolling Stone magazine as a teen, William Miller of Almost Famous speaks to every young writer with a passion for journalism and music.
If you're going to be a true journalist, a rock journalist, first you never get paid much.
Although Miller knows what he wants to do with his life, he still has a lot to learn about growing up.
Sir, I'm a journalist. Here's a copy of the magazine.
You're not on the list.
He gets a first-hand look at the real world and the world of rock and roll by touring with the up-and-coming band Stillwater.
I'm a journalist. I write for Cream magazine.
Oh, The Enemy, a rock writer.
Right, well, I'd like to interview you or somebody from your band.
In exchange, William shows this group of rockers that not all journalists are the enemy.
Hey, how does it feel to be the mother of the greatest rock journalist we've met?
Number 9, J. Jonah Jameson, the Spider-Man franchise.
Headline: Spider-Man, hero or menace?
In what might be the most dead-on casting in the history of comic book adaptations, character actor J.K. Simmons totally becomes J. Jonah Jameson.
Give you $300. That's a standard freelance fee. Tear up page 1, run that photo instead.
This cigar-chewing, rapid-talking editor of the Daily Bugle brings some much-needed humor to the original Spider-Man trilogy, scoring the franchise's best one-liners in his smear campaign against the web-slinging hero.
I pay you because for some reason that psycho Spider-Man will pose for you.
Rarely stopping to take a breath, Jameson does occasionally let down his defenses to reveal a more caring side.
What are the odds?
However, it never takes long for him to revert back to the barking big boss we love.
What are you waiting for? Chinese New Year? Go, go, go!
I'm on it, boss.
Number 8, Truman Capote, Capote.
Thank you very much.
In most portrayals of real-life individuals, it's easy to see an actor doing an impersonation.
Truman Capote. Dorothy Sanderson.
In his Oscar-winning performance as Truman Capote, though, Philip Seymour Hoffman lives and breathes the celebrated author.
Truman.
I'm writing a book. It's too much for a single article.
Hoffman goes beyond capturing Capote's voice and mannerisms. He truly humanizes this complicated figure, who could come off as charming and eccentric in public, while being envious, emotionally detached, and self-absorbed behind closed doors.
Yeah, Truman in love with Truman. The book I'm writing will return him to the realm of humanity.
It makes for a fascinating character study, depicting Capote's struggle to write the transcendent journalistic novel In Cold Blood.
I think you'll like it. It's very masculine. It's in cold blood.
And while Capote may not be considered a traditional journalist, the impact he's made in the field, especially through his development of the writing style known as New Journalism, merits him a spot on this list.
What's the name of your book? I don't know what you're talking about.
Number 7, Tintin, The Adventures of Tintin.
There's no mistake. It belongs to me.
Tintin certainly gets into lots of crazy adventures for a journalist. Then again, Indiana Jones got into a lot of shenanigans for a college professor.
You want to hear about it? Not at all.
In that sense, who better than Steven Spielberg to bring Tintin's story to the big screen in this 2011 feature? Jamie Bell hits just the right note as the all-around likable investigative reporter that's great at getting into trouble and even better at getting himself out. Always on his feet, Tintin never stops hunting for answers and treasure, no matter what stands in his way.
Which is it, more or less?
Relax! I interviewed a pilot once.
Number 6, Michael Blomkvist, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo franchise.
Our credibility isn't dead yet.
Mine is.
Originally portrayed by Michael Nyqvist in the Swedish Millennium trilogy and then later by Daniel Craig in the American Girl with the Dragon Tattoo remake, Michael Blomkvist is equal parts journalist and detective.
The last time I reported on something without being absolutely sure, I lost my life savings.
Falling from grace after losing a libel case, Michael is given a shot at redemption when a businessman asks him to help solve a 36-year-old case.
I want you to help me catch a killer of women.
In a world of immoral men, Michael fights to expose the crooked and shady. While seeking the truth might land him in hot water, he fortunately has a badass partner to bail him out.
Rape, torture, fire, animals, religion. Am I missing anything?
The names. They're all biblical.
Number 5. Raoul Duke, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Hi there! My name? Raoul Duke.
You haven't seen the world until you've seen it through the eyes of Raoul Duke.
Someone was looking for you.
No, we haven't done anything yet.
This batty drug addict is so wrapped up in his story that he provides his own narration, both internally and out loud.
Hell, just a minute ago, you were asking me to kill you. Now you want to kill me.
Just as Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas isn't afraid of making the audience feel uncomfortable, this journalist isn't afraid of revealing the grim truth that the American dream and the 60s counterculture are dead.
If you have any trouble, remember, you can always send a telegram to the right people.
He confirms this on a trip to Las Vegas, which has been consumed by greed.
Never mind. It's your turn to drive.
Number 4. Maddie Bowen, Blood Diamond.
Danny Archer.
Maddie Bowen.
Maddie Bowen is an especially admirable journalist, as she isn't merely looking to write a juicy story.
Hi, I'm Maddie Bowen with Vital Affairs magazine. Wonder if I could take your picture.
She wants to really make a difference by investigating the smuggling of blood diamonds in South Africa.
The world is falling apart and all we hear about is blowjobs, Gay.
Finding a credible source appears futile in a land God has forsaken.
You're a journalist.
That's right.
Through determination and compassion, however, she eventually gets a smuggler named Danny Archer to open up to her.
People back home wouldn't buy a ring if they knew it cost someone else their hand. But I can't write that story.
If Maddie could help Archer see the light, there's no telling how many other people she could reach with her exploration of loss, corruption, and family.
Why don't we go back to your place? See what's in the mini bar, huh?
I'm a print journalist. I drank it.
Number 3. Stephen Glass, Shattered Glass.
The Young Conservatives piece, the mini bottles. Was that true?
The Star Wars prequels might haunt Hayden Christensen to the grave, but he actually proved himself a capable actor in this true story of Stephen Glass.
If I don't go, they won't let me be a journalist anymore.
Although Stephen seems like a modest, honest young journalist, he's put under a magnifying glass when one of his stories doesn't check out.
Okay, I'll get my notes. Okay.
Christensen does an inspired job of keeping the audience guessing whether Stephen is a sloppy reporter who made a mistake or a master of manipulation being backed into a corner.
We were at this table. Restel sat here, his mother was on his left. His mother was on his right.
Whatever the truth is, apologizing repeatedly isn't going to cut it.
I said I was sorry. I know.
Number 2. Lois Lane, the Superman franchise.
Lois, I was wondering if maybe you'd like to have a little dinner with me here.
Oh, gosh, Clark, I'm sorry, I'm booked.
While Superman, also known as Clark Kent, is often viewed as the bridge between worlds, he wouldn't be able to complete that bridge without Lois Lane.
It's got everything. It's got sex, it's got violence, it's got the ethnic angle.
Cynical and sarcastic while also being plucky and lovable, Lois will gladly risk her life for a story.
What are you writing, Miss Lane?
Ode to Spring. How do you spell massacre?
Always at the center of the action, she's naturally Superman's go-to reporter.
A good reporter doesn't get great stories, Jimmy.
A good reporter
makes them great.
It is pretty absurd that she can't figure out that her mild-mannered co-worker at the Daily Planet and the Man of Steel are one and the same.
Nobody, just forget I said anything.
Nevertheless, she's always there for Superman, just as he's always there for her.
You know they say it's all downhill after the first kiss.
I'm pretty sure it only counts when you're kissing a human.
Before we give you the scoop on our top pick, Here are a few honorable mentions.
I'm glad you're gonna Saigon shit.
I know.
I'm glad.
You told me that 4 times.
Cause you are gonna miss out on the biggest story of your life.
Like what?
You are no longer my husband and no longer my boss. And you're not going to be my boss.
Okay, great. Her name is Rosa Lopez. Her boss is Elaine Lieberman. I need to know where she is. I'm Jack Taylor. I'm a reporter for the Daily News.
Jack, you spoke about things off the record at the time because they would have been inappropriate coming from a sitting justice. But I think it would be appropriate to quote him now.
Number 1, Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, All the President's Men.
Did Deep Throat say that people's lives are in danger?
Yes.
Many people assume President Nixon's involvement in the Watergate scandal was exposed overnight.
I don't think the president knew anything about it.
Is it possible that some of his people might have known?
I'm not sure about that.
In reality, though, these Washington Post reporters spent countless hours blowing the lid off the cover-up through research, interviews, anonymous sources like Deep Throat, and by following the money.
How much can you tell me about Deep Throat?
How much do you need to know?
Told from the perspectives of Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, All the President's Men not only provides an authentic look into the disclosure of Watergate, but also an inspirational representation of the importance of free press.
And if we're wrong, we're resigning. Were we wrong?
It's truly a fascinating film about how 2 journalists can take down the most powerful man in the world.
Get out your notebook. There's more. Your lives are in danger.
Do you agree with our list?
You might have hallucinated half of it.
Who's your favorite movie print journalist?
The power of the press triumphs!
For more entertaining top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
I felt like a Nazi, but it had to be done.